Cooking with Miss O with Gus Arundel.
How you doing, Mary Beth?
I'm doing good.
I'm so glad to be here.
And let me tell you, I've changed a recipe that I did a long time ago for chicken to be in it.
Thank you. Thank
Okay?
you.
I'm going to make chicken, corn, potato soup chowder.
What kind of chicken is going to be in it, Mary Beth?
Let me think.
Could it be
Springer Mountain.
Springer Mountain Farms.
Yes.
Well, can I say something real quick? Well, I've got something I want to show everybody.
All right.
The reason why Springer Mountain Farms is so good to you, I hope y'all can see this, is it's never fed antibiotics ever. We feed a pesticide-free vegetarian diet of only American-grown grains. We're certified by the American Humane Association that we're good to our chickens. We were the first chicken company to be certified by the American Association. And we're raised always cage-free. And what does that get you, Mary Beth? Whenever you do all that, well, you can do great things like this. Springer Mountain Farms won the best tasting chicken in Cooking Light magazine back last July, and we're real proud of that. This is us right here. We got the high score, 3.4, against all of our competitors right here. You got Bell and Evans, you got Golden Plump, you got Kirkland's, you got Purdue, you got Sanderson, and we came out on top. So I just wanted to say that. So thank you very much for letting me say that.
No,
but it really
I want
is a
you
better
to.
chicken, and it tastes better, Mary Beth. It does, and I think that proves it right there.
What was it that y'all didn't know when I came down there and you said to me, can we use that? It was a bunch of guys in this room, in a boardroom, which I'd never been in. And I shouldn't say a bunch of guys, but I think they were vice presidents.
They were.
But the only time I had ever spoken in a room, not a boardroom, was when I was teaching, and we'd always have our teacher meetings, all the teachers in the library. So when it was the third grade class to say something about what we had to say, if they asked us something, we had to stand up. So I stood up when he asked me to speak, and all these other men stood up, and then I realized, oh my gosh, I'm not in the library, I'm in a boardroom, and these wonderful men stood up, and I said, I didn't know what to do. But I will tell you this, I told him that the broth is always clear, and none of the other chickens are. And so these men didn't know it, but I'm sure their wives knew it because they do the cooking.
That's right.
You know?
That's
so
right. I appreciate you came to
yeah.
Springer Mountain to see us and gave a great testimonial to all our vice presidents, our managers, and that was so nice of you to do that.
Well, it's because this chicken, I don't want to cry, but both of my kids, my daughter only had 9 days to live, Emery, and my son only had 2 years to live. They had cystic fibrosis, and I had found out from a Seventh-day Adventist, and she was on the show once, that my children didn't need any chemicals. This was the only chicken I could find. And I didn't even know they were in Georgia. Somebody was telling me about it. People were helping me because I'm around Clemson there, and they were telling me, okay, this doesn't have chemicals. We know this. So as a mom, I was frantic between praying and trying to find what I could feed my family. Was tremendous. And then I found a chicken, and I found out he was just right in Georgia.
Yes,
right
so down the road
he doesn't understand. This is one thing he has never understood, I don't think, is that God picked him to be the man to save children's lives in America.
Well, thank you.
Because the chemicals are killing our children.
That's the biggest compliment I could ever get.
Well, you do, and you love children.
Well, I do love children.
I know you do. And so I want to thank you, and having you on the show is the only way I think I can thank you.
Well, I love being on here, and I always learn something.
And both my kids are grown, and I have 3 grandchildren now.
In fact, they're here today.
Yes, one of them is, isn't it? Yeah. And so, and maybe they'll get back from having lunch in time.
I hope in
to
time
be
before
on
the
it.
show's up.
But so I was looking at chicken corn chowder stuff, you know, and the base wasn't as good as the base that I had with the one I did when I first started with this show, and it was a Southern Living one. They came out in 2006. So it was a wonderful one, and they now say it's their best one.
Oh, it's
great.
I
thought, why not just put my corn in there, my organic corn, and then I bake. What you're going to see is I bake my chicken. I already baked it before we were here, and then I just tear it up and put it in there. And this will feed a family of 4 for about, if you do all my pantry stuff, about $3 for this whole pot.
About $3. And I'd like to talk about that. I always think it's interesting in your cookbook. your cookbook, and you can go to your website, I guess, right, and get this cookbook.
I think they can. I'm not real good with that.
Okay.
Here,
But
yeah,
what I will say, it's
yeah.
got everything that you need to stock in your pantry is listed in the cookbook.
And I don't ever do a recipe that does not have, that you can just take it out of your pantry. Do you see what I'm saying?
That's correct. If you've got your pantry stocked with what Mary Beth says in this book, then any recipe she does, then you've got the ingredients.
That's exactly right.
I think
And
that's
so
great.
you don't have to spend a lot of money to have good food. You really don't.
No, you don't.
You know?
You don't.
And so,
helps be a good cook.
well, Mom had 3 girls.
Well,
and
you're a great cook.
Thank you so much. She was not a good cook. She was a sewer and a knitter. And so she let us play in the kitchen, and one of my sisters became a home ec teacher. And I loved to cook, and my little sister loved to cook too. So it was just from playing. So let your kids play in the kitchen sometime.
That's right.
Now, we're going to go ahead and start, and I'll show you what all I use. Now, I always have chicken broth, only this brand, in my pantry, okay? I don't use a lot of that, because what I actually do, and I want you to be able to go home if you have my pantry, when you're through watching us today, that you can just do this today if you want to.
Or what I would like better is a little trouble. We don't have a per se Springer Mountain Farms chicken broth, but you can make Springer Mountain Farms.
And I'm going to do a show this winter about how to do that.
Okay, that'd be great.
But I knew that you wouldn't be able to do that, and I want you to try it and all. But I do my Springer Mountain, and I put it in the freezer. We're going to do a show on showing them how to put the chicken cooked and the broths and everything else in the freezer, so they can, for a month, just pull that down, you know, because it doesn't hurt the integrity of the
broth to freeze it.
Yes, see. So that's what we're going to do. And because I have so many people that want to learn that. And that's what I do. Because when people are sick, you can pull out one of those broths.
Yes.
And nothing has to be in it, and you just give them that. That's how I heal my
chicken
kids.
broth is scientifically known to help you.
It does. It is.
It really
and
is.
see, now it's not just me saying that.
No, it's proven fact.
Yeah, and it's not bad if you take and have a cup, like you'd have a cup of tea, every day in the winter when everybody's so, just have that little cup of warm chicken broth and drink it down. Get your kids in it. That's a great idea. See, I do that. I do that with fresh lemon, a hot, you know, with that, and I also do it, you know, with the chicken broth.
Better for you, I guarantee you, than those cold pills or whatever, you know.
Oh, I don't take any of that stuff. Yeah, I know. And it's easy then, because you have it already frozen up. Just take out a little bag, put some into a mug, and heat it up. Not in the microwave. It kills all the nutrition. Heat it up in a pot.
Did not know that. See, I always learn something when I come here.
Oh, wow.
No, but if you take you take your chicken broth, and you nuke it, it kills the goodie.
Why do you think they call it nuking it?
Well, that's true.
It kills it.
Yeah. In fact, you know, I live by myself, and a lot of times they'll say, "What are you going to have for dinner tonight?" And I say, "Chicken a la ding." You know, to get the microwave on and ding.
Okay. When I do the class on putting your food in the freezer, you're going to come with everybody else, and we'll teach you how to do that too. Okay. You don't need to do the ding no more.
Okay.
No more ding.
Okay.
All right. Let's go ahead. Now we've already peeled these.
Right. Peeled your potatoes.
Yes. And the first thing we're going to do before we put the potatoes is.
And this is by the recipe, so you've got like 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 5 medium to small potatoes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And let me tell you, I want you to. You've got longer arms for me to reach across. I want you to put the broth in here and make sure you have the can down there so it won't splatter on you, okay?
Okay. That's another good idea. That's right. So
and then
splash out on you. And you've got, what, a half an onion?
Yes, and what we're going to do right now is we're going to put a little bit of butter here.
Aren't you going to take the wrapper off the butter?
I will, but it's a little bit easier.
You're kidding.
No.
To cut it. I didn't know that either. So cut it with a wrapper on.
Yes.
And then take it off after you get it cut.
Yes.
Okay.
And I said it was easy, but maybe I was wrong. But I do this all the time. And that way, if you find out that you cut too much or something like that, you can just put it right back in to that butter, you know, holder.
So we got the butter in the pan.
We'll just put that in our trash bowl right here. All right, now let's turn this on, Gus. Can you do that?
I can do that.
Thank you.
You want it up
medium?
Here? Medium?
Yes. Now, this is that. This is the organic that I do, Horizon. It's a little bit expensive, but you could eat less butter and have better because it doesn't have the chemicals in it either, the cow
Yes.
stuff like that. Now, we are going to do the salt and the pepper, but why don't I get you cutting, if you don't mind.
I would be glad to.
Cut it in half. This is the easiest way to do it. And the reason why I use my bread knife with this, because sometimes potatoes are really long, and my other knife isn't long enough. Do you see what I'm saying?
I
This
understand.
kind.
And you
These
call
are
that
organic.
a russet potato?
Yes, a russet potato, and it's a organic one, and always USA. Okay.
Oh, I've definitely always used it.
Okay. Then I cut it that way.
I tell you what, that if you don't buy anything that's made in the USA in your food and stuff, you don't know what you're getting.
Well, we know one thing we're getting, DDT.
Yeah, yes,
Because
absolutely.
that's not allowed in America. We make it and sell it to
And
everybody
sell it to
else,
them.
which is awful. But then all these companies that have gone overseas,
Yes, like I said, you don't
want to do that.
You don't know what you're
okay,
going to get.
it needs to say product of the United States.
That is correct, because I really
USA.
do believe this, and everybody should, that the United States has the safest food supply that there is in the world.
That's right.
They do.
You're exactly right, because we're selling them all the bad stuff.
So we don't want. We've got a great safe food supply in the United States.
We really do. Now I'm going to jump to something else, y'all. Georgia made this bowl.
Yes, going to
want-
the national championship.
Yes, and the president is going
That
to.
President Trump is going to
Yes.
be there.
Now, this, I wanted to show y'all, if you don't have your Fly Lady ticker thing here, your timer, then you need to get one, because she's done a new book, and I've got it, and it's wonderful, and it's really helping me. But I use this for everything, and
And it's called a what?
it's a timer.
Yeah, okay, I mean,
Yeah,
but
and
it's a
she
certain
always
brand
says,
or whatever.
You have to buy it only from her. You can't buy it any. I've never had one.
And who's the lady?
You know, she was here once, and we're going to have her back because she just wrote a new book. She teaches us how to keep our house clean,
Correct.
organized,
Correct.
and not frazzled. And see, Tom was a type A, and I'm a type F. Do you know what a type F is?
No, I have no
Fun and frazzled.
Fun and fried.
So I'm a little lost, and Fly Lady's helping me, and she gave me that timer. So
What?
when I get up in the morning, I put my timer on.
How do you get Fly Ladies?
She's up in Brevard. And
Yes.
and this is her new book, and it's
But you go like to flylady.com?
yes, you can, and it is 31 easy baby steps to
That's
cleaning
great.
up
Chaos to
yourself.
clean.
Get yourself, yes.
Well, boy, I tell you
Has-
what, I need to read this about twice.
Well, you know what? It is time for us to go to a break.
Okay.
Thank you. Welcome back, y'all. We have now chopped off our potatoes, and we've got them in here.
I've worked on those potatoes, Mary Beth.
Yes, you did. And you did a wonderful job. And we've got our broth here. And then we are going to saute the onions.
The onions, I've almost got them ready. I
I'm
have
so
been
blessed to have
cutting up a
a
fog
host here that will cut up all my stuff. Now that
Enjoy
my
it.
kids are grown, I have to do it myself.
Well,
Isn't that terrible?
That is, but I don't. If they're kids, I don't know if I trust them with a knife. Okay, I've got this cut up.
This is perfect.
And you've melted a little butter in a
Right
pan.
here, would you scrape it off here?
Yes.
Thanks.
Got a little butter in the pan. We're going to saute these
Yes.
onions. What else are you going to put in there with them?
That's all, actually.
No pepper, no nothing, no salt, no nothing.
We're going to do
yet.
this with it, and we're going to let that just
Okay.
go around. It's just
Smells good.
1 teaspoon of the butter there. Now, this is what we're going to do, Gus. We need a teaspoon of black pepper in here.
Okay.
Would you like to do that?
I'd be glad to do that.
Okay.
Okay. Teaspoon of black pepper.
Uh-huh.
And you've got your chicken broth in here.
Yes.
You've got your potatoes in here.
Uh-huh.
One black pepper. I
Mm-hmm.
tell you what, you can't get enough pepper.
I know. And do one more of those.
One more.
Yep, we need a half teaspoon.
Okay. All right, we've got our pepper in there. We've got our potatoes in there. We've got our chicken broth in there.
And now we need salt.
And
the
how much salt?
It's a teaspoon.
A teaspoon
And
of
so
salt.
this is the sea salt we use, because when you do Morton's salt, regular table salt. It has sugar in it.
It's really processed, isn't it?
It is real processed, and they put sugar in it, so
I
that
didn't
we'll
know-
be
I didn't know
addicted
that.
to
So-
it.
Wow.
Yes, and so that is really dangerous.
So
for our
only use
children.
the sea salt.
Yes.
Don't use the Morton salt.
Now this is all. We don't want it to get. We
You don't
want
want
it
'em brown?
tender. We slightly brown, but not what I did in the commercial where I
Where it
burned
was
the
black?
butter. Yes, yeah. We don't want to do that, Gus, again. So
I thought you'd put pepper in there. No, just
somebody
burn the
said one
butter.
time, "You never mess up in the kitchen." I said, "Are you seriously saying that to me? If you believe that, I'll go with it."
No.
You know. But anyway, the other thing is, I did the chicken breast, and I baked them in the oven. I
Yes.
put pepper on them, and I put fresh garlic in the pan with a little bit of water and baked it in the oven.
And what kind of chicken breast do we have there, Mary Beth?
Oh, I don't know. Do
I
you
bet
know?
you it's Springer Mountain Farms chicken
It
breast.
is, it
And it
is.
looks like there's an individual wrapped.
They are the
pieces.
individually wrapped, and they are really good. And I'm just going to cut them like that. I'm going to get to show you, and then
Okay, then
we
you're going
can.
to let me cut.
Yes, and I think we need to do smaller pieces
I understand.
because kids will be eating this. Gus, I'm not burning it
Okay,
again,
no,
am
these
I?
aren't burning yet.
Now, and then I'll turn this over to you.
And I've got it cut down.
And it baked for about maybe, I had it at a 375
Uh-huh.
with the lid on, a little bit of water, the pepper, no salt, and just put them in there. And it was about 20 minutes, and they were done.
About 20 minutes. Then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Okay,
What we're
I'll-
going to do with this, after you cut it up, just stick it in here. Okay.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Okay. And while you're doing that,
Okay.
the onions are almost done, but the other thing we put in here is the half and half, and I do the Organic Valley with it. I get that at Ingles. I get all of my stuff at Ingles.
And
actually.
Ingles carries Springer Mountain Farms chicken. You can buy
Oh,
it at
yes,
Ingles.
yes. And let me
And-
tell you something.
And Bilo and Winn-Dixie. And, you know, if you go to any Waffle House that you go to, serve
Yes.
Springer Mountain Farms chicken.
I didn't know that.
Yes,
we
every
have a
Waffle
Waffle
House-
House in Central, and it's
Yes,
so.
or any piece of chicken
need
that
to
you eat
go.
at Waffle House is Springer Mountain
Do
Farms
they have
chicken.
any special? Now we're going to do this. Is I've already done used one for another one, and this is the half. So all you need
Is a
half of a pint.
half of a pint.
Yeah. So, and I think that's 2 cups.
And of course, again, this recipe is in your cookbook.
Not in this cookbook.
It's
in
not
my,
in the current
It's in
cookbook.
my chicken cookbook that we are hoping to be able to.
Oh,
I was going to wait and tell you. We're going to do Springer Mountain cookbook with chicken.
I love it. And
Breakfast, lunch, and supper. It's going to be the same style where people just have to look for a day.
but it'll be total chicken recipes.
Total chicken.
I love it.
A lot of people don't realize that chicken's very healthy for breakfast instead of the sausage
Oh,
and the bacon.
nothing better than fried chicken for breakfast.
I didn't think about that, but you're right.
Well, and we did chicken and waffles one
I
time,
loved it.
remember?
That's right. That's right. Like you can take a piece of this
Yes.
and just heat it up. You know, if you've had dinner
Yes.
and you did something, heat it up in the
Heat it up
morning.
in the morning. It's
yeah,
good,
and eat
isn't
it
it?
with your eggs. It's wonderful. Yeah, I also make chicken quiche.
Chicken quiche.
Yeah, and that's a wonderful breakfast thing. With,
I've never had chicken quiche.
well, you're
We'll-
going
we'll
to
have to
get one
do
of
that.
my cookbooks.
I'm gonna get one of the first ones if you'll autograph it for me.
Okay, I will. I
Okay.
will. And then you autograph it back to me on one for the
Okay,
chicken.
We'll do that.
The chicken, this Springer Mountain chicken has a different flavor than other chickens if you have not tried it.
Thank you. I said
It's
we
a
were in
mild
taste test.
It never
That's the
has
taste
that
test.
funny taste to it. And so it really is best for recipes because it doesn't overpower anything in the
Anything,
recipe.
that's right.
You know, and I don't know if you've eaten any, am I allowed to say Purdue and all the rest of those?
You don't want to eat any of that.
No, I know.
No, but
I live near Clemson.
like I said,
I've heard
we went taste
practices.
test. I think I said it earlier in the show and showed
Yeah.
you Cooking Light magazine. We won beat all of them out of
Right.
13 chickens. We were #1 in
You were.
in taste.
That's right.
Well, okay, I'm working on this.
Okay, and I'm going to
Chicken.
go ahead and put the onions in here.
Okay, the onions are done.
Yes, and then now we just, let me turn that off.
Well, I've got my cutter plate
You
full
go.
right here. I'm going to go
That's
ahead
all right. Go
and
put
and
that
put
in
that
there.
in there,
Yes.
and then we'll cut some
And
more.
we're going to cut to a commercial. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
And that is love. Oh, it's a new day for living life, a new day.
Welcome back, y'all.
Back again.
Yes, this is the product here. It takes about 5 hours to cook.
Cook in
at
the crock
high,
pot,
on
on
high.
high.
And I didn't put the corn in this one
But
because
this is the corn right here.
I
It's
wasn't sure.
Casadena Farms.
Yeah, yes. And then it's organic, and you can get this at Ingles, and they have green beans and everything like that.
In the frozen section.
In the frozen section, and it's wonderful. And so I use this for a lot of stuff, my vegetable soup and all too. So you can make it a corn chowder. Right now it's just a chicken potato soup.
Correct.
And
But add the corn and turn it
it's
into
wonderful,
turn it
chicken
into a
corn
chowder.
chowder. So
And
if you
again,
want to do that, only do half a bag to one size of this crock pot.
That's right, like your half a pint here.
Yes.
And Mary Beth, again, real quick, you've got your butter, you got your chicken broth, you got your half and half delicious cream here, sea salt, garlic, and one thing that I missed before, but you told me you said it, you mince up a little bit that garlic when you cook the chicken. You put
That's
a little
what-
water in the pan and throw
Yes.
that garlic in there, and it gives a little taste, doesn't
Yes,
it?
I chop it up a little bit, and I
Yes.
do about 3 small cloves.
I've got you, and about a a teaspoon of salt.
It's a teaspoon
And half
of salt.
a teaspoon of
black
pepper,
pepper.
of black pepper.
And you want to do organic pepper.
Yes.
And all, and you want to do sea salt, or they're doing some of other kind of salts too, but I like this one the best because the regular salt has sugar in it, and that's not
Understand.
good for you, and it makes you addicted to it.
I understand.
So a lot of people don't get addicted on salt now because there's not sugar in it. It was the sugar that was doing
That was doing it.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. And so that's
And,
not.
and I always use Springer Mountain Farms chicken.
Yes,
in your-
and that's
in
what we
your
put in
chicken-
here. And
chicken
actually,
soup.
I have a bag of that here.
And Mary Beth, I'm going to grate some of this cheese
Would you do that?
for
Because
us.
I put cheese on my potato soup and my corn chowder.
Oh, that's
And
great.
so here's my
There's
Springer Mountain
Springer
bag.
Mountain Farms
I
chicken.
always
you can buy
have,
it at Ingles.
I always have about 4 in my freezer because that's the meat that I always. You can leave it
Yeah.
right here on this plate here, Gus, and do it
Thank
right
you. I'll
here.
get over here, get out of your way.
Okay.
It's looking really good, and it smells even better.
Thank you, Gus. It's real cold here today.
It is coldest. I believe it's the coldest they said it'd been like in 16 years.
Well, and we even have a cameraman that has a hat on, so I know he must be cold too here. That's probably enough, Gus. You want to just let me show
Okay,
you?
it is.
This is
This is the niftiest thing.
it's Tupperware. It is wonderful. We can just do that with it
Okay.
and stick it here, and it's so easy. And then let's put
Oh,
some.
that is enough cheese, isn't it?
Now, put some. Do you want me to do it for
Yes,
you?
please.
You don't mind? My hands are clean.
I know they are.
Now you can
Wow,
put.
now that looks really good.
You could put, and I didn't know if Gus liked that, and I like it. You can put onions on the top, the little green onions.
Like, what do you call it, scallions?
No,
No?
I can't think of the name right now. I stayed up so late last night trying to get all this ready that I'm so tired.
not so bad. Little green onions.
Green onions, yes, that you can chop up.
Well,
Chives,
again,
chop.
Mary Beth, it's just a
And you
a
can also
great,
put
great
parsley
meal.
on it if you want to, or anything like that. Now, you want to taste it? And
No,
let's-
well, what we need to do, and we're running out of time, but please always say the blessing and be thankful for your food
That's right.
before you taste it. But we're running out of time, we don't have to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to go, then we're going to say the blessing when we're off camera, then we're going
That's
to
right.
eat.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Oh, it's a new day for you and me. It's a new day to be set free. Grace, get another chance. I just want